Hello, my name is Sip Mendes and welcome to Sip's Wood Chips. And this is my first video of 2015. 2014 was a good year. My videos had more than 250,000 views, which is great. I'm really pleased by that. And I obtained more than 3,600 subscribers. And so I really appreciate you guys viewing my the videos and subscribing. And you ladies also, about 10% of my viewers are ladies, so I appreciate you watching the videos also. So for my first video this year, I'm going to show you a kit I got for Christmas. It's from Wood River, which is, I believe, the Woodcraft brand. And it's a chrome coffee scoop. The kit is only this part here, the scoop part, the chrome part. And the handle is made from mesquite. I used mesquite, but you could make your own with any wood you have handy, or anything you prefer. Or you can use acrylics also. And the kit's easy to build. You just have to drill a 1/4 inch hole, about 13/16 of an inch deep, and then turn the handle to shape. This one here is right about. Let's see what we have here. This one turned out to be 9.5 centimeters, which is about almost 3 3/4 inches. And I think that looks pretty good. The instructions online are a bit skimpy. They don't tell you very much on dimensions other than what size to drill the hole. So, if you're ready, I'll show you how I built this kit. And as always, make sure you read and understand all the instructions that come with your power tools and equipment. Woodworking is fun, but it's also important to work safely. I don't usually do a lot of kits, but today I'm going to go ahead and turn this one. And this little coffee scoop is pretty neat. It's from Wood River. And it's just basically the scoop itself, and it does have a 1/4 inch shank on it, just slightly less than a 1/4 inch. So that shank is really about 6.33 millimeters. Right at a 1/4 inch. So there are a few instructions for the kit, but basically it says that all you need to do is take a piece of wood and turn it between centers. So this is the handle that's suggested on the website, but I'm going to make mine look more like this. I'll probably just add 1 ring instead of 2 rings, and then add a little cap on the end, and try to keep it about less than 3/4 of an inch in diameter, and about a 1/2 inch at the thinnest part. These don't take a whole lot of stress or strain. Let me measure across here. I guess this really should be, at this end it's 0.6 of an inch, or about 15 millimeters. Okay. So let me cut off a piece of this. I'm going to probably cut it off right at about 4 inches, which would be right about here. So I drew my center marks there, my X, and I've set the drill press to stop when it gets to that line. That line is right about 7/8 of an inch, which is a little bit more than 3/4 and more than 13/16. So I'm going to go ahead and drill that, and I have it on the slow speed, which is about 650 RPMs. And there's not much torque, so I'm just going to go ahead and hold it with my hand. So if it were binding and catching, really should have used a clamp. Could have put a clamp here and tightened it down, and that would have helped too. So I will put my one center in here, my tailpiece center, and then this side I will put on my spur. I'm going to use this multi-tooth center for the spur, and then I'm going to use this small cone, a 60-degree cone, for the tail, the live center on the tail. And what I need to do is I just need to put this over the cone, since there is no mandrel for this kit, and then I can just tighten it up. So this one actually has a spring center. This actually has a spring center that goes in and out, and that means you can actually loosen it and remove it without ever turning off the lathe, which is not something I would do, but that's what that's for production speed. And I'm going to tighten that up a little bit, then go ahead and bring up my tool rest, and I'm going to start off with the roughing gouge. So I'll place it right about there, and I need to get my apron and my face shield. So this end will go against the cup part of my coffee scoop, and I do want to make a bead right about here, and I don't want the total length to be any longer than 3.5 inches. So I'll cut it off here, and I will make 2 beads right about in here. So I'm going to use my 1/2 inch spindle gouge. I had a little bit of trouble with this. A big chip came off. You can see this big chip there that flew off. And I glued it with AC, and it just did not stick. It's probably because it's too cold in the shop today. It was only less than 60 degrees when I did that. And so I re-glued it with just yellow glue, Titebond, and it looks like it's set pretty good, so I'm going to go ahead and try to shave that down and see if it stays on there. And still, I'm still turning at 850 RPMs. But that looks pretty good. Looks like it's going to hold all right. Okay. So I'm going to continue. Things I need to be careful with is this part here is just a little bit over a 1/2 inch. It's really about 9/16 looks like. And so I want this to be a little bit larger than 9/16, which it is. I can still turn this down a little bit more and do that. So I'm going to trim this down a little bit more because I want it to be, I want this bead to to be the same size or maybe a little bit larger than that bead there. Okay, so let me trim that down. So that's 9/16. I'm going to go 1/16 more, which would make it 5/8. Okay, so I want that to be 5/8. And I can go down considerably more. Yep, got a little bit of a catch there. I'll go ahead and switch to my round nose. Just want to use skew now. Okay, I think I'm ready to sand that now. And I'll probably sand it with, I think I have some 150, and 220, and then some 400. And I'll do that offline. So I gave that, I sanded that all the way through 400. And I'm going to go ahead and use a little bit of this Crystal Coat Hut. It's mostly a shellac friction polish. And I'm just going to use a little piece of paper towel. Now the important thing about doing this, whether it's paper or cloth, is don't wrap it around your fingers. Make sure you hold it between your fingers. If it grabs it, let it go. So, and I'm still spinning at about 1,000 RPMs. Let me rub it in first by hand. Moisten it really good. Get into all the cracks before I actually try to turn it. But that certainly brings out the color in the mesquite, as you can tell. Okay. And I can tell it's starting to get tacky already, so let me spin it. And first I'm going to go over with a little bit of the wet part. And now I'm going to go ahead and use the dry part. And I might give it several coats before I get the shine I really want. That seems to be doing pretty good there. Let that spin for a minute or so. And I'm going to get another dry piece, paper towel. That looks pretty good. I think that's all I'm going to need on it. It looks pretty good. And I'll just buff it one more time with paper towel. And something I've seen Peter over in Germany do is using a shoe shine brush. That seems to really bring out the shine. I don't seem to have one handy. Okay. So let me get ready and I'll part that off. I'm going to use my thin parting tool and still spinning at about 1,000 RPMs. And I'm going to try to get this as clean as I can so it won't require much sanding. Just a little bit of sandpaper. Don't really want to make another bead on there. Relieve the tension on it a little bit. And then I'll finish that with just the flesh cutting saw. Okay. And there's my handle. So I'll sand this by hand. And put a little finish on that, and we'll be ready. So here's my finished scoop. I think it turned out pretty good. I like the color of the wood and the shape of the handle. Fits my hand really well. But most of the time you use these, you grip them only right there anyhow. But I think it turned out fine. Well, thank you so much for watching. It was fun doing the video. Have a happy 2015, and we'll see you again soon.